Hey, are you as confused as most people are today about the state of the Scottsdale, Arizona real estate market? Interest rates are still up. Well, guess what? Today, I'm going to take you through the Scottsdale real estate market, zip code by zip code, community by community. I'm going to give you an update on what's happening right now today in the Scottsdale real estate market. It's July 8th, 2023. Let's get after it. All right, so let's start with a broad stroke overview, and let's just start with the city of Scottsdale. Then I'll start to break it down zip code by zip code, and I'll hit some communities inside of each of those zip codes. So starting with Scottsdale, and I'm going to break this down a little slower when I do Scottsdale as a city, so that when we go slide to slide or image to image here, you know exactly what it is we're talking about, and we can move more quickly. But first and foremost, we're looking at, these are June 20, so it's July right now. These are June 2023 statistics. The first thing you can see up here at the top is you can see, give me a second. You can see seller's market, okay? Now, just so you know, just for a little bit of a history over the last 12 months, and I'm going to show you this on a curve here in a second, but September, we were in what would be considered just a slight buyer's market. So we would have been sitting right over here, right on the cusp of a buyer to balance market. In January, and by the way, December was the only month we were actually in a buyer's market. By January, we were already back in the balanced market. Now you can see we're well into seller's market. Now, what does this mean? Does this mean that we are getting 20 offers on every single home every single weekend? Absolutely not. We're so used to thinking that a seller's market means that there's 30, 40 offers on a home and you have to pay $100,000 over asking price in Scottsdale. That's not necessarily the case today. The next thing I want to show you here is months of inventory for Scottsdale. So you can see right down here, we have 2.62 months of inventory. Okay, so again, it's not a week of inventory, which you might see in a really hot seller's market. There's still 2.62 months, but that does put us in what we would consider a seller's market. Now, as we move over a little bit, you can see list to sold price is 97.3%. So sellers are getting very close to their asking price. We're still seeing some seller concessions in the market. So if you are selling your home, you may still offer some concessions like paying some buyer closing costs. Not as common in Scottsdale as it might be in some of the other cities, but it is still an incentive that you can offer to sell at a little bit higher price as well. All right, moving over, you can see median sold price. Now, these are only single family homes we're looking at, okay? This doesn't include townhomes or condos. This is the single family home market. You can see is a little over $1 million, $1,070,000 is the median sold price right now here in Scottsdale. All right,
You know, I created Phoenix Homes and Hotspots to connect homes with the lifestyle around those homes using the power of video and community. What's up, everybody? My name is Todd Hall. I'm founder of Phoenix Homes and Hotspots right here in beautiful, sunny Phoenix, Arizona. Hey, if you're moving to the Phoenix Metro or thinking about moving to Phoenix, Scottsdale, and you want to know not just where all the great homes are, but what is the community like that surrounds that house, and as well as all the local hotspots in the area, restaurants, shopping, hiking, golf, whatever it might be, you've come to the right spot. We're going to connect all the dots for you. And listen, if you're coming out to the Phoenix Metro, you want to do some of our homes and hotspots tours, all you got to do is give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. That way we can be your key to AZ.
okay. All right, so moving down. So median estimated value. Median estimated value in Scottsdale right now is just a little over $1 million. Again, all single family homes. You can see our percentage change in the last 1 month is almost up 1%. 0.8% is what the market has done here in the last month. So this was, again, remember, these are June statistics, but over that course of the month, 0.8%. So the market's going up. What's it done over the last 12 months? Down 2.8%. Guys, remember when the media was telling us the sky is falling, the market's going to crash, we're going to crash 20 to 30%. It's going to be worse than 2008. last 12 months, since interest rates really started to go up, we're only down in Scottsdale, city of Scottsdale as a whole, 2.8%. Now, here's the cool thing. When we're looking at these lines, by the way, we're going to look on every single chart. We're going to look at the blue lines as we're going through the zip codes and the communities. We'll look at this blue line, but people are always saying, hey, what's the perfect time to buy? I don't want to buy when the market is going down. Well, here's where we're at the end of this chart. And this goes all the way back to 2008, by the way. So you can see where we had that crash and then just a slow escalation up, a few little leveling off, a little dip here, some leveling off. This was when this is kind of when COVID started, a little bit of leveling off right here. We had a few months where people were like, oh, what's the market going to do? And then it went crazy. Well, here we go again. We had our dip with the interest rate going up. And if you're following my cursor, you can see that we're just starting to go back up again. So we've been balanced out, and you're going to see this more definitively on our zip code charts. But you can see, like, if we look at May 2023, estimated value was 1.01. If I go over 1, if I can do it. June was 1.01. Let's go back. Actually, Scottsdale, so you're going to see, it's interesting because zip code to zip code, you're going to actually see that this is starting to go up, where Scottsdale still showing pretty level, although this number is telling us different. It's telling us it's gone up in the last month about 0.8%. So there's a little bit of lag there, but anticipating seeing some numbers go up. Now, by the way, folks, I have no crystal ball. Okay, could this number go down? Yeah, interest rates could tomorrow skyrocket to 10%, and that number could go down. Do I see rates going to 10%? Well, historically, interest rate numbers follow inflation numbers. So if you believe inflation is going to continue to go up year over year as a year over year number, then you might believe interest rates are going to go up. If you believe inflation can only go down from here, then you're likely in the camp that as over the course of the next 6 months to a year, there's a good chance that interest rates go down. So watch inflation closely, but anyway, with that being said, again, across the valley, we're seeing sellers markets almost everywhere now. All right, so this is Scottsdale. Remember, we're following the blue line. So let's now jump in and let's go. Let's just start going zip code to zip code. And we're going to actually start right down here, show you my Google Earth map where I've drawn out all these zip codes for other videos. But we're going to start all the way down at the bottom. We're going to start in South Scottsdale, 85257. Down here where you have the Phoenix, kind of the Phoenix Zoo, Desert Botanical Garden closed. It's furthest point down here in Scottsdale. This is our starting point. So let's go in 85257 and let's look at our numbers for South Scottsdale as a general rule. Not as a general rule. This is always the 85257 and 85251 in South Scottsdale are always our most affordable zip codes. Obviously, the homes are a little bit older, tend to be a little bit smaller as well. Also have a little bit bigger lots than some of the ones you might be seeing built in especially in the central and north central Scottsdale areas where like Arabella, where they're building on really tiny lots. So at least you have some lot sizes down here, but and a lot of these homes, by the way, are completely remodeled and rebuilt. You guys know that. If you've lived in Scottsdale for any amount of time, you know that a lot of these homes, these old 1950s ranch style homes, are now, when you walk on into the inside, they look like model homes. Some really great stuff has been done by investors down here. All right, 85257. We are firmly in seller's market. Okay, months of inventory, under 2 months of inventory. Okay, that's down, by the way, month over month. That's down 18% in terms of the amount of inventory. That means from a buy and supply side, that means that inventory is getting soaked up faster. Now, by the way, when it comes to supply and demand, supply is not as high as it's been historically. So just understand that that number, when we're talking about supply and demand, supply is not huge right now, but there is still enough demand to fill that supply and keep that inventory under 2 months. In 85257, they're getting 98, almost 97% of list price, very similar to Scottsdale. Median sold price is $616,000. Remember, it's all single family homes. This is our most affordable area. And median estimated value is $642,500 with an increase over the last month of 1.1%. Okay, so again, if we're looking at the chart, let's go down here. Oh, by the way, 12-month change, 20, 30% like the media says? No, down 4.1% as a zip code over the last month. Now remember, we're watching the blue line. So this orange line is Scottsdale. The blue line is going to be our baseline of whatever we've searched, in this case, 85257. The yellow line, I believe, is Maricopa County, and the red line, I believe, is Arizona. That's correct, okay? So our yellow line is Maricopa County, our red line is the state of Arizona. Again, we're following this blue line, though, and if we're looking, May 2023 was 635. June 642. There you go. There's your 1.1%. I'm not sure why that didn't show on the Scottsdale chart, but you can see it right up here. Here's your number, plus 1.1%. So you can see people say, hey, Todd, I don't want to buy in a declining market. I don't want to buy in a crazy upswing market. Okay, well, do you want to buy when the market seems to have leveled off and it's starting to curve back up? That's what we're seeing right now. This is 85257. Moving north to 85251, where Old Town Scottsdale exists.
Hey, if you haven't gotten enough here on this YouTube channel and you want more great content on what to do while you're visiting the Phoenix Metro, I just created a new Facebook group. It's called Scottsdale Communities and Hotspots. So when you're done here, head over there. I'm going to show you all the top hotspots in and around Scottsdale, Arizona, from restaurants, nightlife, shopping, golfing, hikes, special events coming to town. I'm going to do some video walkthroughs with local owners and them walking you through their hotspot. And you're going to get lots of great local residents and their recommendations for what you should do while you're visiting here in the Phoenix Metro. So again, when you're done here, head over to the Facebook group, Scottsdale Communities and Hotspots. We'll see you over there.
Many of you think of 85251, the entire zip code as Old Town Scottsdale. Now, again, no condos, townhomes here. I know there's tons of condos and townhomes down in this area. This is just single family homes. So remember, median sold price, $840,000. Well, let's start over to the left. Seller's market, yes. We're seeing that consistently. Again, that's almost everywhere in the valley now. That's almost, where it's at on this blue line can vary from one to the next, but pretty much everybody's in seller's market. Months of inventory is up a little bit higher than it was. In fact, quite a bit higher, which is why it's a little bit further down the seller's market line. Remember, we were 1.88 months at 85257, a little bit higher, partly because you have higher median prices as well. 85257 is the most affordable zip code, so it makes sense that those homes are going to get absorbed a little bit more quickly. However, again, homes are selling at 97% of list price, so sellers are getting their price for the most part. We said $840,000 median sold price. And median estimated value, $782,000. That's up 0.4%. Over the last 12 months, down only 2.8%. So that's 85251, the Old Town Scottsdale area. All right, moving north. Let's go back to our map. So we did 85257 down here. By the way, I consider 85257, 85251, and 85250. Just so you guys know, if you're Scottsdale residents, this might confuse you. On my YouTube videos, when I'm explaining this to people that are moving here from out of state, I break Scottsdale down into 5 sections. South Scottsdale to me is 85257, 85251, and 85250. And then as we get into the McCormick Ranch area, 85258, I call Central Scottsdale. As we get up into 85260, and I call that NorCentro Scottsdale. Over here to 85259, I call Scottsdale East. Okay, so I break it down. It makes it easier for my YouTube out-of-state people to understand the city a little bit better. And then all these yellow zip codes up here, anything kind of north of the 101 is what I refer to as North Scottsdale. I know most of you just say north and south. That's fine. But just so you understand what it is that I refer to when I'm doing this. All right, so moving to 85250. Don't go anywhere. Don't do that. Okay. So 85250. Between Chaparral and Indian Bend, basically, between Scottsdale Road and the 101 freeway, and then south of Chaparral up to Indian Bend North. You can see we're firmly in seller's market. Some of these numbers are pretty consistent, by the way, from zip code to zip code. In fact, let me make sure that transition, that looks, oh, no, that's still, hang on. No wonder they look identical because it didn't transition. There we go, 85250, sorry. 85250, I was going to say, there's no way that it's the exact median home price. Okay, so 2.63 months of inventory. So that's actually down a little bit from that Old Town or 85251 Old Town area. Not getting quite the list price, a little bit lower than those 97% we just saw, about 95% list to sold price. 38 days. By the way, here's your days on the market, the median days on the market, 38. Okay. So the good news, by the way, this is the first time I mentioned days on the market, but the good news with days on the market, if you're a buyer, is it gives you a little bit of time to make decisions. You're not like, you don't walk in on day one and go, geez, if I don't compete with 10 other offers today and write an offer 50,000 above list, I'm out. It gives you an opportunity to kind of absorb the process. Do you want to wait too long? No. A home can sell any day. 38 days on the market is not a lot, but at least it gives you a little bit of breathing room and thinking time if you're a buyer. Median sold price in this zip code, 85250, is 1.16. Median estimated value, 842,000. Pretty big difference. By the way, median sold price versus median estimated value. So sometimes there is a little bit of a lag there, but median estimated value of 842,000 over the last month, up 0.5%. Over the last 12 months, down 3.6%. Here's your curve. We're curving up. So February, this number was, hang on. February, this number was at April, this number was at 832,000 over 2 months to June, 842,000. All right. All right. Moving to the north, 85258, where McCormick Ranch exists. So we're going to do two things here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the zip code. Then let's pull up McCormick Ranch and see. McCormick Ranch takes up most of that zip code. So I don't know how, I haven't actually looked yet. I don't know how different the numbers are, but let's take a look. 1.94 months of inventory, list to sold price 97.4. Median days on the market is 31. Little over $1 million in sold price. Estimated value, interesting. Estimated value is higher than median sold price. Don't get too caught up on those numbers. The biggest thing is what is the value and what are our changes? Look at this. Last month change, McCormick Ranch area, 1.9% up. Over 12 months, down 2.9%. Again, if you're looking at the curve, you're like, is it a good time to buy? Well, you tell me. I mean, I can't guarantee that's going to continue to go up. And historically, what has it done? Follow the line. Looks good. The trend looks good. Now, again, what are interest rates going to do? We don't know. They've actually gone up to a little bit over 7% as of yesterday. So it's not like they're going down yet. By the way, what happens if they go down to 5%? You're going to add a lot more people that qualify and a lot more potential buyer demand into the market. So you got to watch this. You got to watch the interest rates. But here's what I always tell people. Think of this. Prices are down. We can see that. I mean, prices are down from 1.26 at its peak, now back down to, what do we say, 1.162, okay? Over 100,000 down. Here's what you can't do. You can never renegotiate a sales price. So let's say this continues to go up, and then you finally go, okay, it's back up where it was before, but guess what? Interest rates probably aren't going back down to 3%, guys, anytime soon anyway, right? They might go down. Are they going all the way back down to 3%? So if you're waiting for rates to drop and the price goes up, you cannot renegotiate the price of a home once you close on it. You can refinance an interest rate as long as you have equity and as long as rates go down. So would you rather have a low, if you had to choose, would you rather have a low interest rate or would you rather have a low price? I'll take low price all day because I can refinance a rate. I'm stuck with the price once I close. I don't know if that helps, but that puts it a little bit into perspective. All right, now let's look. We looked at the zip code. Now let's look at McCormick Ranch and let's see how different that might be. Again, McCormick Ranch takes up most of that zip code, so it's probably not going to be too different. McCormick Ranch actually drops a little bit. Months of inventory dropped from 1.94, I believe it was, to 1.75. List to sold is up a little bit. Days on the market are down. So actually, there's a pretty decent difference here. And some of these metrics. Median sold price 1.1. Last month has gone up 1.1%. 12 months change, though, was down 5.2. So McCormick Ranch got hit a little bit harder as a community than some of these other communities and zip codes, okay? But already back up 1.1%, 1.09 median estimated value for McCormick Ranch. All right, let's go north to the area that I call NorCentro, Scottsdale. That's where you're going to find Kierland and some of the communities up there. You know, I've been in the real estate business now since 1999, so I know your pain points.
And the number one pain point is finding the right real estate consultant to work with, but the other one is finding the right loan broker. Now listen, I haven't told very many people this, but my first couple of years in the business, I almost left the business. And it was because there were things in a real estate transaction that I personally couldn't control. And that number one thing was that my loan brokers that I was referring my clients to were dropping the ball. Couldn't have been more frustrating. So I know if it was frustrating for me, it's frustrating for you. Look, you need somebody that's going to give you the best communication. They're going to do what they say they do. They close your loan on time, but also they give you the best pricing, the lowest interest rates, and the lowest closing costs without having to haggle with them. The loan team I work with now, I've been working with since 2005. They are the best of the best of the best. My clients thank me every time they use them. If you want them as well on your team, you want to be on our team, you know what to do. Pick up the phone, give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email, and I'll make sure you get hooked up with the best team here in the Phoenix Metro. Now listen, let's get back to this video.
Some of the communities around TPC. So Scottsdale 85260, Sellers Market. We already know this, right? Spoiler alert, they're all in Sellers Market. Months of inventory, 1.87. List to sold, almost 100%. Just teetering on 99% list to sold price. So lots of good demand. People are understanding, hey, I'm not getting 20% discounts anymore. In fact, we can see we never were. For 12 months, it was only down 2.2%. People were like, oh, I want a 20% discount. I'm like, well, I'll write the offer. I'll always write the offer, at least verbal. But guys, that's not what we're seeing in the market today. 30 days on the market, median sold price of $906,000 with a median estimated value of $887,000, up 0.4% for the month, and then down 2.2% month, 12-month change. And again, a little bit more level here, but watch for rates. Again, if rates go down significantly, I see this curve going up. No crystal ball, no guarantees. That's what it should do. Historically, that's what it should do. If rates stay stable, we could see a slight increase, might even a level off. I think it'll still slightly increase, maybe not super drastic. By the way, is that such a bad thing? Is having some balance, not that this is completely balanced, but having some balance where you have 30 days on the market, right, is not such a bad thing. Right now, we don't have this vertical line going up where buyers are like, geez, I don't know what to do. Right? As a buyer right now, you should have a pretty good direction what to do. All right, 85260. Moving to the east, the area that I like to refer to as Scottsdale East. I know I'm driving some of you locals crazy with the way I label these, but it is what it is. It's easier to understand it that way. All right, Sellers Market, we know this, 2.19 months of inventory. Pretty consistent, guys. These numbers don't vary too much from zip code to zip code, even though these zip codes are completely different in terms of style of homes, price ranges, the people that live in them. Pretty different, although the metrics don't vary too much from one to the next. 97.5% list to sold, 38 days on the market, 1.22 median sold price, 1.2 estimated value, up 1.4% for the month. By the way, the 12-month change here is down only 1.6%. So what are some of the communities over here? You have Scottsdale Ranch, Scottsdale Mountain, are just a couple of the prominent communities over in that Scottsdale East area. Here's your curve. Kind of like it, man. I kind of like this leveling off and this start to increase. I mean, if you were really trying to pick the perfect time to buy, no crystal ball. I'm going to keep saying it, guys. I can't guarantee anything. But if we were really trying to predict the right time to buy, I mean, if all of a sudden over the next 6 months, it's up here, you're like, oh, Todd told me there's some possibility here, right? So anyway, I'm just showing you the charts. You're seeing the same thing I'm seeing. Let's pick a couple communities in here. Let's go Scottsdale. For those of you that live in Scottsdale Ranch, or for those of you looking to buy a home in Scottsdale Ranch, one of my top 5, by the way, family-friendly communities in Scottsdale. By the way, click the link right above me, and I have a video that my top 5 family-friendly communities in Scottsdale. Scottsdale Ranch being one of those 5 communities. By the way, McCormick Ranch as well. One of those communities. Scottsdale Ranch. 2.64 months of inventory, 96.7, a little higher. Days on the market here are a little bit higher. Okay, I think that's the highest we've seen so far, 52, or it's ranging up there towards the highest. Not terrible, by the way. If you're a seller and you're just got to watch people sell their homes in 2 or 3 days, yeah, you're like, oh, do I want to wait 52 days? But still not terrible because we're still sitting firmly in seller's market territory. Okay. Last month change up 1.1%. For the 12 months down 5.3%. Okay. I'm going to keep showing it to you, man. Here's the curve. Okay. Pretty sweet. All right. Let's look at Ancala. Okay, seller's market, 1.69 months of inventory. List to sold price over 100%. So if you're selling in Ancala, you may not need to give concessions to buyers, which again, in that neighborhood, a lot of times you're not necessarily giving concessions as you are negotiating price. I get it. But anyway, probably not giving concessions. And oh, by the way, if you price your home right, looks like you're likely going to get over 100% of your asking price. Okay. It's the first one we've seen like this. Most of them are in that 97% range. By the way, that number is up 4% month over month. Okay. So that market is heating up. I'm sure we're going to see that on the chart here in just a second. 12 days on the market. Okay. This is the hottest market we've seen by far. 1.7 median sold price. Here you go. 2.4. Like I said, we're going to see it on the chart, and we're absolutely seeing that. Okay. Good time to buy, not a bad time to sell. I mean, again, it's seller's market, but fairly balanced. All right, let's move. Ooh, my favorite zip code. Let's go 85255. Why is it my favorite zip code? Because there's some killer communities in 85255. For those of you that live there, you know what I'm talking about. Scottsdale, Arizona, 85255. Let's get to it. Seller's market. 2.35 months of inventory, 96.7% list to sold price, 40 days on the market, 1.6 median sold price. Okay. Let's go down to the bottom line numbers. 1.6% from last month, up 1.6% from last month. 12-month change, 85255 has only gone down 0.2%. Where is the media talking about this? That's not 20%. That's not 30%. That's not 2008. Okay, down 0.2% from this time last year. Yes, it dipped, and what a sweet curve. This is a tough zip code to buy in. I'm not going to lie to you. There's not tons and tons of inventory. You want to go to DC Ranch and look for homes. You're not going to find a lot for sale, and you're going to have to move pretty quickly. However, the good news is it's still 40 days on the market, right? With 2.35 months of inventory of supply. So there are some opportunities, but now let's go community to community because it's going to differ a little bit. Okay, so let's look at, well, let's do DC Ranch. Let's start there. DC Ranch. So the numbers drop a little bit. Months of inventory actually go up, 3.5 months of inventory. I'm going to have to look at that again. I'm going to have to pull it up in the MLS again and take a look, see if there's a little bit more inventory than there has been. 97.4% list to sold price, 28 days on the market, 3.475 median sold price. Now, by the way, DC, when I pull up DC Ranch, it's pulling up everything. So that's going to include, I believe that's going to include Silverleaf. Let me see if I can just do the country club. I don't think I can. The challenge with looking at this from a DC Ranch standpoint is that's going to include all 4 villages. So the country club, as well as Desert Camp, Silverleaf, and I just shot a bunch of videos. I just drew a blank. But anyway, it's going to include all 4 villages there in DC Ranch. So 3.475. I mean, you can still buy single family homes around $1 million in Desert Camp as an example, or Desert Parks. Sorry, I don't know why I drew a blank on that. Desert Camp and Desert Parks are going to be more affordable than the Country Club and certainly more affordable than Silverleaf. But anyway, this gives you an idea, up 3.3% over the last 12, or up 3.3% from the last year. Okay, up 1.9% just in the last month alone. So that's DC Ranch. Let's look at Silverleaf and see if the numbers, I think what they do is they lump Silverleaf in with DC Ranch. By the way, these are all MLS numbers, guys, right? So when I'm telling you this stuff, these are not guesses. You can see the charts. You can see this data right out of the MLS. Let's look at Silverleaf, because Silverleaf, so if you look at just Silverleaf, see how it's bringing that up, 4.9 million median sold price. Only 24 days on the market at a 4.9. By the way, the luxury market has performed really, really well with high interest rates because people that buy luxury homes are buying cash a lot of times. They're not necessarily relying on interest rates. So they've taken advantage of a few little dips here and there. There's 5.5 months of inventory, which is a little bit more normal for a higher end home, but they're still selling at 97% of value. So taking a little bit longer to find the buyer, but still getting most of the value. But only 24 days on the market. So anyway, interesting. The 24 days on the market and 5.5 months of inventory is interesting. It means that we're starting to get more homes out there on the market, it looks like, which is a good thing, right? We're starting to release a little bit more supply, possibly. Again, I'll have to look in the MLS more specifically at that. Look at this, guys. Up 2.2% in the last month, but up 9.8% in the last 12 months. This chart just keeps going up, right? So I told you why. Luxury buyers don't rely on interest rates as heavily as somebody buying a $600,000 home. So that's why you're seeing that. So that is Silverleaf. Very interesting to look at. All right. What else do we want to look at there? Let's look at Grayhawk, right next, just to the west of DC Ranch. Let's look at Grayhawk. 1.71 months of inventory, 96% listed sold, 62 days on the market, kind of high compared to what we looked at. Up 1.6% in the last month, only down 0.2% in the last 12 months. Moving on. Let's look at Estancia. So I want to talk about prestigious. Let's see if Estancia parallels a little bit of what we saw in Silverleaf in terms of, especially the last 12-month numbers, what I really want to see. Ooh, look at this. Interesting. Buyer's market. 8.55 months of inventory, although I'm not going to open this right now, guys. I don't want to go on too far of a tangent. I'm going to guess there's not a whole lot for sale in there, which is why you're seeing such a high inventory number in buyer's market, because guess what? These numbers down here, the 0.5, okay, but 11.4 over the last 12 months does not indicate a buyer's market to me. I think probably what we're seeing, if I were to pull up the MLS, and I'll have to look at it later, but we're probably seeing is just not much inventory in there right now. But again, you can see next to Silverleaf, luxury homes, 4.5 median estimated value, and same thing, luxury has not taken a huge hit like we've seen. And by the way, none of them have taken a huge hit. They've just hasn't taken a hit at all. It's actually thrived during a time where interest rates have gone up. Very interesting to see. Now, some of you might be concerned about recession. What do real estate markets do during recessions? As a general rule, when a recession hits, rates go down. The last 5 recessions, 3 of the 5, home prices went up. 1, they went down by 1%. And then, of course, we know what happened in 2008, but that was brought on by a mortgage meltdown. So the whole reason for that particular recession and market crash was the real estate market, which is why you saw huge dips in 2008. 3 of the prior 4, the market went up. 1, it only went down by 1%. So just to put that in perspective, if you're like, oh, yeah, but recession, rates should go down. All right, let's see here. Let's look at one more. No, let's look at 2 more. Let's look at Troon North, and then we'll look at Desert Highlands. And then we'll finish up with our last 2 zip codes here. Troon North. 2.82 months of inventory, getting very close to that 100% again. Listed sold price, days in the market a little higher. Now again, there's 13 different communities inside of Troon North, ranging from kind of bread and butter, family, household, median household income type neighborhoods, all the way up to luxury estates. So you have a lot of diversity in terms of the price points, of homes in here. 1.8 median sold price. Again, some of the luxury is going to drag that number up. Last month changed. This is interesting. What did says seller's market, mainly because of our inventory. The inventory and the seller's market numbers are going to go hand in hand. However, prices are down a little bit last month. Interesting. Troon North down 3.5%. And in fact, this is one area that I don't anticipate that number to continue to go down. Don't have a crystal ball, but I don't anticipate that. But it definitely an interesting spot to watch to see if you might be able to grab a couple deals out of Troon North. Down 3.4% for the month. So for the last 12 months. So most of the last 12-month change happened in the last month. Interesting to see that. So we'll keep an eye on that and watch it, see what happens to Troon North next month. And then last one, let's do Desert Highlands. Then we'll finish out our last two zip codes here. Desert Highlands in Scottsdale, 2.82 months of inventory, 98 point. Again, guys, not too much of a difference where we're getting, just happened, right? You know what? That didn't transition quick enough. All right, hang on. All right, that was still True North numbers. So now we're looking at Desert Highlands. There's not a whole lot of data here, which means there's probably just not a whole lot of inventory. 6.25 months of inventory puts us on the bottom side of the balanced market. Again, probably just a lack of inventory. But again, Desert Highlands, guard gated golf community, wealthier crowd that lives there, 2.7 estimated value, 2.7 million estimated value. So you can see pretty well over the last 12 months, up 5.9% and 1.4% in the last 12 months. All right, 85262. Let's go north up to the Desert Highlands area. So we'll do 85262, then we'll do Desert Highlands. 85262, here we go. 5.56 months of inventory, 96% listed sold, 89 days on the market puts us in balanced market territory. 5.56 puts us in that balanced market, what this is considering balanced market territory. 1.5 million price, down 1.8% in the last month. Interesting. Okay, so another like True North, probably an interesting market to watch. See if you can't pull a little value out of something there if you're looking in Scottsdale right now. Up 1% for the last month. So that is good news. The market overall has gone up while interest rates dip, but down 1.8% in the last month. So something to keep our eye on. All right, let's do, so that was 85262 as a zip code. Let's look at Desert Highlands, Desert Mountain. And let's see how that may differ from the zip code itself. Okay, so balanced market, 6.32 months of inventory, 94% listed sold. Again, an area to keep your eye on. This Desert Highlands area to keep your eye on. It's gone up 3.6% over the last 12 months. So it's not like it's got crushed, but down 0.3% for the last month. Okay, so another True North and Desert Highlands, Desert Mountain. A couple communities to keep your eye on. Sorry, I talk quick, so I want to make sure, I want to try to make these videos not so long. All right, last zip code, 85266, moving to the west, all the way up to the northwest side of Scottsdale. 85266 as a zip code is in seller's market, 3.27 months of inventory. Here's your numbers, okay? 30 days on the market, average 97.5% listed sold. Down 4% over the last 12 months, but up 1.8% over the last 30 days, okay? So that is 85266. Let's look at the Boulders. I think this will give me Boulders. And let's look at Terravita, and then we'll wrap it up. Boulders. So in 85266, you have Boulders and Terravita are two of your more prominent master plan communities. Seller's market, 3.46 months of inventory, 98.3%, 28 days on the market, 1.1 median sold price, down 4% over 12 months, up 2.2% over the last 30 days. Here's your curve starting to curve up. Pretty cool and pretty interesting, if you ask me. Terravita, last but not least, Terravita. Now, by the way, guys, if you don't live in Scottsdale, I'll do one of these for the entire Phoenix Metro city by city. So you can check that one out. I'll do that one here this week as well. And by the way, if you live in a community or a zip code and you want me to send you a personalized, just a quick market report on your community or your zip code, hit me up. Just shoot me a text and make sure I have an email address or something to send it to. I can send it to you via text as well. So send me a text and I'll shoot you a quick video and send it over your way. Terravita. Last but not least, seller's market, only 1.97 months of inventory. This number has stayed pretty stable. The list to sold has been pretty consistent. Only 25 days on the market, a little over 1 million. So for North Scottsdale, Boulders and Terravita, one of the reasons they're doing pretty well is because to live in North Scottsdale at 1.1 million is a pretty sweet deal, right? As a general rule, North Scottsdale is really, really pricey, as you've seen. And so, so those, again, areas that have done well. The last month, plus 2.8%, over 12 months, down 0.4%. All right, guys, hey, I'm going to wrap this video up. I know these market videos can be a little bit long, especially when I cover the entire city of Scottsdale. I hope you got something out of it. Hit me up via text if you want me to send you a personalized report for your specific community or zip code. I'd be happy to do it. All you got to do is send me a text. And I will see you. Remember, I'm going to do a market report for the whole Phoenix Metro city by city. So if you don't live in Scottsdale, look for that. That'll be coming out in the next day or so. See you on the next one.
Hey, did you like that video? Show me some love. Hit the like button down below. Drop a comment. Let me know what your thoughts were. Then be sure you subscribe and tap that alert bell. And from there, I'm going to do all the heavy lifting for you. We'll create the content. We will notify you every time we create new popular videos right here on Phoenix Homes and Hotspots. And then check the description below. I have some other related videos down there. Or you can check out 2 of my most popular videos right here.